Hello, hello. Happy Monday, or whatever. Welcome to Digital ILIAD episode 10, where we're making an FTL-like in Godot. My name is Dave, and today we are going to continue working on dealing with some unique obfuscation issues presented by our 2-to-1, not 2-to-1, our 4-to-1 visual perspective here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is 4-to-1. This is a little lower than the typical isometric perspective, and the problem is that it's causing tiles, because it's not isometric, tiles in the foreground tend to obscure tiles in the background, which in the engine looks more like this. I've colored them just to show what rooms are what walls belong to each room, and you can see very clearly that, our rooms are being obscured here. Where we left off on Friday was we got this flood fill working, so we can tell, what tiles belong to what rooms. Today we're going to do a bunch of refactoring, because I realized my data model for this was like really bad. So we're going to try to improve it. We're just going to change how we represent a lot of this stuff. We are going to end the stream a little early today. So this is my in-office day, so I need to get out of here a little early. Okay, so what we're going to do at the moment, we're just recording the different compartments in here, which I really like that word, compartment. But this is a little too simplistic, because this is just throwing all of the tiles that belong to one of our rooms. Oh. In there. That's okay, that was intentional. Don't mind me. Anyway, we're gonna respec this. We're gonna change it. We're gonna blow it up to be like a number of different things. So we're gonna say like, say floors by room. That's a good way to call it. So floors by room is going to be the same thing as our compartments dictionary, but it's just going to be for floors. We'll similarly say walls by room. Same thing for walls. In case we need it, I'm not sure that we do, but in case we need it, we're going to say tiles by room. This will be a little more to track and maintain, but I think it'll be useful having that granularity. So that's one direction of lookup, where you want to get the tiles by the room that they're in. We want the other version of that lookup though. Now we want to get the rooms by the tiles they're in which case, does that need to be by tile type? I'm not sure, but because it's easy to maintain, we're gonna just set it up that way. Room by tile. Keep that singular, because that is not gonna house an array. Just gonna be one-to-one lookups. We'll start with just room by floor. I don't know if we're going to need room by floor and room by wall, but I'm just going to start with it, and if we don't need it, we can get rid of it. Dictionary madness here. Okay, let's get the outputter out of here. Hopefully we can get rid of all of this horrible code. Maybe not. We'll see. We still need to establish relationships. We could actually... Yeah, I don't know how we're doing that right now. How are we recording which rooms are in front of which rooms? We're calling it neighbors. That's like horrible. We're gonna change that. Anyway, so let's go through, let's find all of our uses of compartment. We're gonna change, I really do like the word compartment, but we're gonna start calling them rooms. Compartments. So this, we can add these to the floor one and the tile one here. Okay, so compartments, so we're getting an array back from flood fill floors. This is finding all of the floors. So this is a little... This isn't super conducive. Oh, never mind. We're processing each one in here. Okay. Cool. So we have an opportunity to do that. That's what I wanted. This is going to be... This is floors by room. Compartments. Floors by room. We also want to add room by floor. Might also want to set tiles by room. I'm not convinced we need that. Oh well, I said I was going to have it, so I'll set it. We're basically actually just taking this whole thing and just changing where we store it. And then we'll just add the walls to this one later. And then here we want to room by floor, build tile equals room count. At the moment, we start with 0, so 0 is the first room. But I can see a world in which we want 0 to be no room. But we could just as easily do that with -1 or something. Doesn't have to be 0. Okay. So we got our room by floor. So this should take care of all of our floor stuff. Now we need to go through the tiles. So what we're doing with the tiles is we're looking at whether it's a left-facing or a right-facing wall tile, and it's just looking at its nearest neighbor in the foreground, so like towards the camera, and it's figuring out what room that one belongs to. So here's our compartments, so we want to replace that. So if wall tile plus its... So if the wall tile plus this is in compartments, yeah, so we want it. That's where we're getting floors by room. We don't need to do it this way, do we? Because now we don't have to actually... Hold on. We might be able to rewrite this now that we have a room by floor lookup. Yeah, we don't need all of this branching, I think. Or maybe we do. We don't need this part. We don't need this checking through the range. So let's get rid of that. We don't need the break because we're not iterating. Index is not declared. No, so we don't need. So we need to find the index variable. Index room. Actually, we could just say room is room by floor. On a function, array lookup. And so we could say walls by room. Room. You can also say tiles by room. We can do it that way as well. Then we have our walls, we have our tiles. We probably also want to just add our room by walls. By floor. Hold on, we also want to add room by tile. This is definitely overkill, but you know, it's relatively cheap and I like to have a choice because sometimes we don't care. I feel like sometimes we're not going to care whether it's a wall or a floor, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe sometimes we're just looking for a tile. Probably isn't going to be the most exciting stream. This is probably going to be mostly a refactoring stream, just trying to get this wall hiding mechanism working. So I don't need this check. I guess I do need a check. I need a... I need to just check if... See if it has anything. Probably should set this as a variable, this wall tile plus nearest tile. Well, like 4 tile? I don't know. So if there's a 4 tile in floor by floor, set cell. Why is set cell upset? Oh, it wants the room. Walls by room, walls by room. Okay, yeah, this is the pattern. We just need to remember. Oh, I can substitute in the 4 tile here. So we just need to repeat this. Don't need to loop through nothing. have this structured a little differently. We're checking the left and then we're checking the right. Let me visualize this a little bit. We're dealing with corner pieces at the moment, which are like here. Yeah, we do want to check both because the main case of these corner pieces are these airlocks, and the airlocks are not assigned a room right now. So we do want to check both. We're checking left first. Actually, we're checking the right first, which is always going to fail at the moment, but let's check the other way around. We don't need this loop. We just need something like this. Actually, we do need... Yeah, this needs to be structured a little differently. I'm gonna forget the declared variable here. Looking for like a try get or something like that. That might make this a little easier. Don't really have one. That's fine. Turns default. Oh, interesting. I could just get it and then return null. I guess it could be not null and still... Hey, Unimoth, not bad. We're just cleaning up some of that code we were working on Friday. Just expanding out our collection of how we keep track of rooms and the tiles in rooms and stuff, just to add some granularity to hopefully make it easier. How are you doing? I hate this part of the code. This is like the last thing I wrote, and it is so dumb. But we're not going to mess with it right now, I think. Fortunately, I still think we do need to do this for tile and tiles by room. Just looking for neighbors right now. This part works, so I don't want to mess with it at the moment. Oh, motivated. Somehow motivated. That is good. That is really good. Streaming has really helped me with that. Just partly with the motivation, but also just with like accountability. Like when I was just working on my own. Oh, you're fixing some mistakes you made last week at work? That is exactly what I'm doing right now. That's how it feels, at least. Yeah, streaming has really helped, at least with just the feeling of accountability, because like normally in the morning before I started streaming, I would just kind of do whatever. I just eat breakfast, you know, watch Twitch, like maybe work on my game, but also maybe just get distracted by something on YouTube. But now I'm like definitely sitting in front of the computer for like 2 hours, just working on the game. No distractions. And that has helped me a lot. I'm glad you were feeling motivated as well. It is a new week. It's a new week. New mistakes need to be made. All right, tilemap.compartments. We don't have this anymore, so we can change. So we don't need this loop probably, because we can look up by tile directly now. Let's get that out of there. Let's get these correctly indented then. So if mouse tile is in, I don't know why I'm doing this check. If index is in tilemap.neighbors, it's weird. Tilemap dot. I guess we'll just do tiles by floor. I'm not sure if we want our tiles by room. If mouse tile is in, not tiles by room, we want room by tile. By tile. That. Room is room equals tile map. If the room, I don't understand why I have this check. Room and tilemap.neighbors. Am I using Git for this project? Yes, I am. I tend to do a commit after every stream, just so I can see what I'm working on each stream, and hopefully eventually see like the last time I've touched something, so I can be like, oh, I haven't worked on this since whenever this was. So I find when I'm when I try using like descriptive commit messages about like what I was working on, that has never worked for me. So I'm just gonna say this is when I was working on it, which I know like Git already knows when I committed something, but I don't know. Dev source control is king though, that's for sure. I have omitted it on small projects in the past and I've always been hurt by it. I am not using the Git plugin though. I'm kind of just using the regular Git CLI, even though I'm utterly trash at using CLIs. Let's just change the names of all the variables and see if this still makes sense. Tilemap.neighbors room. This isn't compartments. This is going to be for tile in tile map dot walls by room. So we'll do walls by room. We don't need this check because we know we're getting only rooms back. We really don't need this check either, because if you get a room back from this, it is in neighbors. Map.setCell, tile map 0. Why are we setting? Oh, that's just what we're doing. So we're going to set that to 1. That's probably right. What we need to do now is we need to fix our tile map, because we're using all these funky colored alternative tiles, and at least for the walls we need to clean that up. It's going to be 1. Are you source ID 1? Source ID 1. I don't love this. I forgot. This is how this goes. This needs to be... Just track these. We need to make sure we have the right atlas chord here. Alternative tile. So if atlas chords actually, there's an easier way we can do this. This is like kind of hacky, but we're gonna do use Manhattan's distance, because for every tile, it's gonna increment the. Actually, this isn't gonna work because it won't be able to distinguish between 1, 0 and 0, 1. But for right now, this will work, so we're just gonna do it, even though this is a really, really bad idea. Yeah, let's see if this did. Oh no, we still have to actually clean up the actual tile map. Okay. Get rid of a bunch of these. Bye. Change these to transparent instead of red. Color and maybe like 50% transparency. What are you working on, Moth? If I may be so bold to ask. Triage defect at a bank. Oh, at a bank. That's the real programming. That's cool. You're probably like an expert in like database stuff. I've tried to get better at that stuff just to make like to better understand how to like code stuff like in a way that's robust. Yeah, not worth it. I feel that. A lot of pressure, yeah. That's like a joke. There's like a joke that I make there that's similar where I'll be like, you know, if you're like a real mathematician, you're building bridges or you're building buildings or something like that. And the same thing with like a programming. If you're a real programmer, you're like, you're working in an environment where like your code cannot fail. Whereas like for me, if my code crashes, who cares? If my operations aren't consistent, you know, they don't pass the like acid test or whatever it's called. Who cares for me? But yeah, for you, that is heavy stuff. Speaking of which, let's see how my code fails today. Here we go. Invalid get index 2 on base dictionary. Balls by room dot append. Is an append creating an invalid index? Oh, is it because I'm not? Am I not declaring this one right? Let's see. Let's see what I'm doing. See what I'm doing wrong here. Floors by room. This was the old compartment, so we'll see. Yeah, because these I'm actually declaring and filling with arrays. And then with the wall one, I was just trying to append to it, and I don't think that's how that works. I could just go through and declare them. This is unfortunate. So room count plus equals 1. So this only happens when there's a new room. So I could just say something stupid like walls by room. Room count equals, just say like this. Well, sorry you have such a stressful job. That's really rough. I mean, I work in like HR myself, so there's some aspects of my job that give me that kind of stress. Like I always have to be super careful about like HIPAA and like data privacy and, you know, all that stuff. But a bank, that's a whole nother level. Money is somehow simultaneously both the least real thing on the planet and also like the most real. And there's something there to be, you know, terrified of. Okay, that error should not repeat itself. So let's see. Okay, so something is happening. Walls by room, tilemap.neighbors, room. Valid get index 2 base dictionary. We should have access to the third room, which is room number 2 here. We do not for some reason. Make sure I'm not. Oh, that is weird. Getting some funky material here. Some weird behavior here. Oh yeah, imagine this. When you mess up with something, you're not only messing up with the client product, but with his money too. Yeah. Yeah. That is scary. Okay, let's go back and try to understand this whole... So... just put a breakpoint here where we're typically failing and just take a look at some of these arrays. I guess I didn't need a breakpoint. It was going to fail there either way. So let's see. So wall tiles is fine. What I want to do is take a look at tile map here. Room by wall, 0. Tiles by room, size 3. That's right. 46, 76, 46. Walls, tiles, walls by room, 5, 13, 5. So walls by room is good. Room by wall is... we're never using this, so that's fine. So walls by room, array size 5. So this error actually doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Let's just run it back one more time. Oh, and it... oh, it seems to only... is it only affecting the room in front? It is. It is only affecting the room in front, regardless of what index it is. That's interesting, because it's been index 2, it's been index 1, it's been index 0. That's interesting. So there's definitely something wrong with my initialization here. Oh, why are we flood filling this twice? That's stupid. It shouldn't have caused the problem, but you never know. Okay, no, it's happening to rooms randomly. This is fun. I'll get index 2. It's my room. Size 3. Index, getting index 2 should be fine. Tilemap.walls by room. Tilemap.neighbors room. Is there something wrong with neighbors? Oh, neighbors is only 1 long. Okay, I messed up neighbors. That's what's happening. Which we're going to rename. It's going to be called like obstructed room or something like that. I don't know. Obscured room. Something. Okay, let's look at this pile of code that I absolutely hate. that there's definitely a better solution for. So we're iterating through each tile in each room. Honestly, we could just iterate by walls for one thing. Why are we only checking this direction? 0, 1. That can't be right. Oh, let's stop this running. Because if we're only checking... Is that ever going to give different answers? Depending. If we only check walls and we only check 4 floors, we should be okay. We just need to make sure we're not checking a wall from another wall. That's what we want to avoid for sure. And we want to check both directions. Okay, so we've identified a weird gap in our logic here. So for wall and walls by room, for this index, which is our room, we're just going to call that room. Forget index. Not neighbor. Oh, okay. Here we can use the word neighbor. That's fine. Not neighbor in floors by room. Oh. No, that's not right. I don't know what we're doing there. So what we want to do is check... So what we first want to see is we want to say if... wall and... not in... If not... So if this isn't in our own... If room by wall, so if the room we get is not equal to our current room, that's not right. If room by floor, so let's check if it's in there. So if we've identified a floor tile, get this out of here for a second while I just totally rewrite this. So we're looking through each room. Looking at each wall in the room. Not a floor tile. I'll say else. I'll check the other one. Check the other one, not the same one twice. Okay, so if it is a floor tile, and if it's not in the same room as us, then we can do this. If that's the case, we'll break for one thing. Now we just need to record. Yeah, I'm not calling this neighbors anymore. This is going to be obstructed by I'm doing this backwards, aren't I? I'm not looking... I shouldn't be looking from walls for floors. I should be looking... I could do it that way, or I could just be looking by floors for walls. Yeah, that's what I should be doing. How did I get this so backwards? Floor tile in floors by room for that room. And for walls. And if not, All right, that should work. Okay, that's much better. Let's just see if it works. I'm trying to get neighbors still. Well, we're not storing all of our wall tiles, so that's a problem. So there's still some kind of initialization problem I'm having here. This hodgepodge of code here. So we are recording. We're initializing at least. Walls by room. And 4 wall tile in wall tile. So this should iterate through every wall tile. So let's see why we're not. Room by wall. Wall tile equals room. Not early outing here, so this we should be processing every single wall tile here. Could be we're attempting to add walls to the same. We're like replacing values instead of adding them in some cases. Walls by room, append wall tile. So the floor tile stuff looks like it's totally working. Floors by room. Well, floors by room is a little high. Recording over 150 floor tiles here, and there are not that many. Is that an issue with our flood fill? Are we being like overzealous? Oh, we're not checking if they're in the wall tiles, are we? So for... No, we're saying if it's not in floor tiles. So if the tile is not a floor tile, we don't grab it. Any of these come true, including this one. Am I messing up the floor tiles? Tiles, let's get you cell 1. Okay. Room obstructed by is only ever going to be size 2, so maybe there is a problem there. We should check. We should do a validation check or something first. Mouse tile is in. More tiles. Room by floor. And then if room is in room obstructed by, it's probably the problem. Let's hope. Nope, not the problem. Get index 2 on base dictionary. I'm already checking if the mouse is in the floor tiles. Okay. Maybe I've gotten this backwards in my head about how I'm modeling what room is obstructed by what room. Because I've got room obstructed by, so if you plug in the key room, you should get the room that that room is obstructed by. So we've got like, let me get this breakpoint out of here and redo it. So we trigger the failure here. Yeah, so invalid get index on 2. So if we're in room 2. And so we are asking the system, we're saying, okay, what room? Oh, this is backwards. I think I'm doing it backwards. We don't want what room is obstructed by this room. We want to ask what room is obstructing this room. Yeah, oops. I modeled that backwards. We're going to change this from obstructed by to obstructing. That is why it's not working, I think. Yes, easy to fix. Although there is something else that I noticed, which is that we're not populating some of our lists fully, which is a little more concerning. But we'll look at that next. So I want to change how I record this. So it's going to be room obstructing. So it should just be the opposite of what we're doing now. Room equals room by wall of tile. This is always what happens when I like come up with a way of like a form of representation that I haven't like written down and thought out in advance. But I have been pretty bad about planning these streams out. That is definitely something I want to do better in the future. You know, not to the point of it like the cooking show where like I pull in like a fully cooked chicken out of the oven. Like, I'm like, oh, I just happened to do this, you know, before. I definitely need a little more planning than I'm doing now. I just find it so much easier to just sit down, see what's obviously wrong, and then just start working on that. It's just kind of my method. And it is not a good method. But it does keep me getting bogged down in, like, production hell. Just always planning and scheduling and just, like, staring at Kanban boards. I don't want to do that. We might do that once we actually start to have, like, deadlines for things. But I really don't want to do that. Okay, let's see if this fixed it. No. Oh, it sort of did. We're getting a different error. Love to see it. Okay, so I can't do room in. I just have to say... Oh wait, that doesn't really make sense. This doesn't make sense. Oh, maybe that was part of the problem too. Maybe there was a compound set of problems here. Well, I crashed because I hit an airlock, I think. So we'll just add a safety check here. Yeah, now we gotta actually... Oh, yeah, thank you. I really do like the little crew members. I've been playing more with their animations. I'm like trying to work on one where they're like where they're like fighting each other, and it is not going well. They're like fighting each other with fists, but like I'm having a hard time communicating the fists are crossing over their own bodies, so it just looks like they're fencing with their fists. It looks really stupid. But we'll get there. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know if I'm going to have to start doing like shadows or something just to communicate arms passing in front of their chests. We'll figure it out. I realize I haven't done any art on stream, and I like really want to. I really want to start doing pixel art on stream because I find that process way more relaxing than programming. Like, even if it's similar as far as like just kind of staring quietly at like some slight problems. Okay. It's 1. Oops. Not what I want. It's the wrong place to add +1. +1. Ugh. Unfortunately, I do have to end the stream early today. I usually like to run until like 9:30, 9:45. But this is my in-office day, so I need to leave a little early to, you know, commute. Ugh. Okay, so this is starting to work. We're having a weird problem with that, with one... The tiles are starting... They're not catching the right side facing tiles. They're only getting the left ones. So that's weird. But that is probably a very clear problem then. We're also not resetting them when we're not mousing over them, so I need something for that too. I was worried we were going to need to change art styles, or not art styles, but perspective because of just this wall blocking problem, but this is looking okay when I have these transparent tiles here. Doesn't look that bad. It'll probably look a lot better once these walls have like texture or something to them. Okay, so why are the only ones... Tile map, dot set cell tile. How are we pulling these out? We're pulling these out of the walls by room. Okay, so now we have to confront the fact that our walls by room script is not sufficient. It is not capturing everything. Yeah, it is only capturing like 20-something walls when we have 30-something walls. At least we know which walls it's not capturing, and it's the walls that are facing to the right. Oh, didn't want to restart. Let's go look at that. So room by wall. This is what we're looking at. Oh, I am not checking... I'm not checking the other, not checking the other possible atlas chords. Oh. Not atlas chords, but, you know, directions. Based on the atlas chords, is it? Whatever. Whatever I'm doing, I'm not doing it right here. I think I copy pasted and forgot to reset the values. That's deja vu. That is always the problem for me. Anytime I start writing like spaghetti code, and all the branches eventually pretty much end in the same behavior. I always forget to reset the parameters that make it different. That should be okay now. As far as getting all of the walls. Yes, yeah, sort of. Well, we've made it significantly worse now somehow. Why are they being made invisible is maybe my question. Did I mess up the tile set? No, seemingly not. So you're alternative 1 and you're alternative 2. Oh, you're named alternative 4 for some reason. That's wrong. You should be alternative 2. I think that was the main problem, but it's something probably. Yeah, there's weird behavior. Why are they starting out that way would be my main question. Like, they should only be getting their tile sets changed. Oh, I am doing something here. Why am I doing... Oh, because I used to be coloring them. I forgot to remove the debugger. The debugger color, room color system we were using. Oops. We don't really need to color the floors now either. Where do I even do that? Oh, right here. We'll leave it for now. Okay. So what happens when I do this? Okay, that part's working. We just have to reset them when they're not. When we're not clicking on them. But at least we're making the walls transparent when we're mousing over the room that the walls are obscuring. We're doing the whole room, which is maybe not the right way to do it. We might want to be a little more fine grain. We could even say like walls obstructing room, and we could just load in the walls that are obstructing specific rooms, because right now we're doing it by room, which is maybe not the most efficient way to do it. Okay, I've only got a few minutes here, but let's see if we can change their color back. I really need to refactor a lot of this stuff out of the input handler into the tile map system. Yeah, we're doing it. This is like the smallest possible win here, but at least we did it. We've got them resetting when we don't. Oh, we sort of have them resetting. That's not right. Why do they continue to render when I'm mousing over this room? And then, yeah, we almost got it. So room is tile map dot room by floor. So we find the room, and then if the room is in, it shouldn't be in this. Yeah, thank you. The last thing is we are just misidentifying a room that doesn't obstruct anything. Oh, so this is gonna report falsely true. What is the next feature? Depends on what we actually care about. The next thing I should probably do is making it so like characters can interact with consoles, because that's gonna be like most of what you're doing, right? Is like assigning little characters to like computer consoles or stations or stuff like that. So we should probably get some consoles in here and make some little like keyboard bapping animations. just so we can get them. I have some ideas for that already. I think I'm gonna give these characters some ridiculous like power stances. They're just gonna post up at these consoles just power stancing. There is another feature. Yeah, that feature should be a lot easier. There's another feature which I want to see the viability of, but I think it might be a usability nightmare, and that's to be able to rotate this tile map. Just rotate the whole thing like 90 degrees and redraw it correctly. Which might be horrible, but it would also mean it's like more acceptable to put stuff in the foreground, because right now the walls in the foreground just don't get drawn. Like the walls on like the close facing sides. So it's kind of weird to put stuff there. I mean, I could put stuff there and have it be transparent if it's important, but I think it would be cool if like you turn your ship to the left to like face some other opponent, if the whole ship actually rotates inside. I think it might be a horrible nightmare as far as like players understanding where everything is, but I don't know. I still kind of want it. I still kind of want to at least try it. I'm going to a virtual game dev meetup tonight, and I am going to ask the people there what they think of that idea. I'm a little concerned about it. This room is 1. In this room... So here's a behavior of dictionaries that maybe I just don't understand correctly. So I'm asking, you know, if this room is in this dictionary where the keys are the rooms causing the obstruction, and the value is the room that they are obstructing. Is that right? Or is that backwards? I'm having a hard time. With this for some reason. So room obstructing. You look it up by the room that is causing. You actually look it up by the room that is being obstructed. And the value that you get is the room causing the obstruction. Okay, I've got that straight. The problem is, right now, I'm asking if room in tilemap.room obstructing. I'm feeding it in a value that is only in the room as a it's as a value. It's not a key. Like there is no corresponding room. There is no corresponding key to this room. It's only a value, and for some reason, the tilemap is saying yes, this is in the dictionary. I thought asking something like, is this in the dictionary, would only tell me about the keys, but it looks like it's also telling me about the values, which is not the behavior that I want. That's very weird. Yeah, room 1, it's saying room 1 should be like that? Should be like what? Like it should only tell me about keys? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe something else is happening. I mean, I'm sure that's not the problem. I'm sure the problem isn't some fundamental way that dictionary works. I'm sure the problem is me. I'm sure I'm the problem. Oh well. I can live with that problem for the moment. I don't know why. Because it makes sense that we're hiding these walls when we're on this blue. There's something wrong with physics. Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think the problem is one of the fundamental laws of the universe. I'm sure it's not my conception of the universe. It's definitely one of the fundamental laws here that we've just got a problem with. All right, whatever. I can live with this. I can fix this tonight. But unfortunately, I do have to run. This has been awesome. Kind of a slog, but, you know, good company. So thanks for hanging. You know, Moth, thanks for hanging out this morning. No stream tomorrow. I have a dentist appointment, unfortunately. Kind of a more involved one than the typical just cleaning, so won't be fun, won't be pleasant. So I'll be skipping tomorrow, but I'll be back Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, and we'll get back to it. Thanks again for stopping by, and until next time.